I was originally going to go ahead and have this image of something up there, maybe a video playing, I don't know. But because I can't get Adobe Premiere on my laptop, it simply takes too much resources. And Windows Video Movie Maker has apparently dipped into the realm of oblivion lately. I don't know if you've looked at that lately, but my god, they just stripped all the usefulness out of that tool. I used to use it. Anyways, I was going to have something here that you could look at other than, you know, me. So I apologize, but you're gonna have to deal with me. Maybe you can just have it playing in the background. I don't know, but I'm actually gonna take my glasses off because this isn't about visual. This is about me trying to explain the plot as it is. So the intro, I'm not really gonna change any. In all honesty, the intro is still gonna talk about, you know, the last great hope we have in order to end this war. You know, the Crucible. We found out what the catalyst is. It's the Citadel. But unfortunately, due to the elusive man's input and due to the elusive man and Cerberus's influences. Due to their interference, the Citadel has been captured by the Reapers and now resides over Earth and providing a most tempting target for all the combined forces of the galaxy. And so a plan was formed. The combined forces would be put together into three separate groups. And we have the picture of the Destinies. I can't remember what you called the picture. The picture you put out here. The picture of the big fleets. You know, this is there will be the sword fleet, which will be the ships of the line, intended to get in, be able to take the major blows, take the first hits, and be the first one into the battle, and actually stand toe to toe against the Reaper ships. So we cut over here. And then we actually, visually, because that first shot you did was at this angle. And so if I had my choice, I'd want the third shot to be at this angle, and the second shot, which is the ground troops, which I haven't actually mentioned to you yet, but, you know, we need a second shot of the ground troops, would be like this, like looking down onto a planet's surface, so you can see airships, and or not airships, you can see gunships, you can see fighters, you can see tanks, you can see Krogan on dinosaurs if you feel like doing that, you know, on a raptor or something. I don't know what a kaleidosaurs actually look like, but you get the point. And, you know, then we have the ground battle group, which consists of all the greatest forces in all the greatest armies, all the greatest things that consist of the Hammer battle group, whose purpose is to land on the planet Earth and take the fight to the Reapers themselves. Both of these groups will be, of course, distracting for the rotate over here. The Shield battle group, and this is going to be that massive picture you haven't actually done yet, the one I want to just really get the point across, because this is like 90% of the actual total forces, the total fleet of the combined galaxy here. And this will be the fleet whose purpose is making sure the Crucible reaches this way to the Citadel, docks with it successfully, and ensures that the catalyst goes off and we're all saved by whatever the hell it is. Some godchild thing pops out and says, "Go home, Reapers." No, I'm sorry, I'm derailing. Next shot will be of I shouldn't. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop doing this from a directorial perspective. That can be dealt with later. But Shepard will be the one to spearhead the ground forces. Their first objective will be come in right behind the sword battle group, land on the planet, and force their way straight to London with the primary force in order to relieve the beleaguered forces that are being led by Anderson, who are there on the planet, and have been maintaining the resistance there in London. And because the resistance is there, the primary Reaper focus on the planet is also there. There are also obviously harvesters and whatnot across the world, but the majority of the actual armed forces of the Reapers are there in the London area, because that's where the resistance has been gathering. So you land, and you charge, and you get up there, and the diversion seems to be going well, and the Shield group warps in and starts making their way, and the Crucible starts being docked, and as they're on the ground, they're like, alright, we're going to make one big charge to really try and get one more distractive effort before the catalyst goes off. And Shepard gives an awesome speech to his squads and says, this is our moment, this is the hour where we will show them that we are not dying on our knees. We are not dying taking this laying down. We are going to charge into this, and we are going to die fighting if need be. Every single one of our lives may end today, but we will do so knowing that we tried to save... No, take that back. We did this with the fire of the galaxy behind us, with the defiance of all species and all nations pushing us forward. And so they charge, and the forces charge on the ground, and Shepard ends up getting separated from the rest of the group. One of the Reaper beams hits nearby, sends him flying. And he goes clattering over here. Oh, my God. And Anderson happens to be nearby. And Anderson's, Shepard, listen, you know, thank God I caught you. And there's, no, you know what, I'm going to take that back. Because I'm really debating on how this scene should unfold. So let me take all that back a little bit. You know, this is the day, blah, 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 right? And the rest of the group's charge, and Anderson holds Shepard back. just for a moment. Bear with me here, because Shepard gives the speech. The squads are, the squad is there. They set to charge. The Krogans are off over here. The Volus bombers are over there, and the Turians are over there, and the humans are. You get the idea, right? And Shepard holds up and says, "Shepard, there's just one last thing I need to tell you before we go." Puts his hand on his shoulder and says, "I'm proud of you, son. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you've managed. Even if this is your last day, like you said, I will go to my death peacefully, knowing how much you accomplished and how much you have managed to do that no other person could even dream of. You have done everything I have ever wanted to do with my life and more, and I am so proud of you, my son." And in that moment is when the Elusive Man's hologram shows up. Because what they're supposed to happen is they're supposed to join the forces, but the Elusive Man's hologram shows up right behind him and says, and I'm debating how to put the scene, but obviously because I'm not doing actual dialogue, this is going to be interesting, it's going to be difficult, because I'm going to have to say this in a narrative sense, but the Elusive Man appears with a slight edge to his tone as he congratulates them on their wonderful ability to simultaneously engender all that is great about humanity at the same time completely missing the point. And, shot of the Elusive Man's hologram there. And Anderson says, what the hell are you doing here, and what the hell do you want? The Elusive Man says, what I want is the same thing I have always wanted. The dominance of the human race. No, hang on, step back. The dominance and prosperity of the human race. And, shit, I just got a phone call. Who is that? Okay, so. Oh, my God. Where the hell was I? I'm gonna have to edit that out later. Okay. The Elusive Man, right? The Elusive Man had just appeared, and he had explained, what I'm after is the same thing I've always after, and for some reason, you two people, and he's referring specifically to Anderson and Shepard, always insist on getting in my way, even though we should be on the same side. We should have always been on the same side, and Anderson. Anderson replies back, "That's absolutely right. We should have been on the same side this whole time. I've never exactly agreed with your methods, but as soon as this got real, as soon as the Reapers were here on our doorstep, we should have been at each other's door saying, 'All right, let's go.' But no, instead you decided to have this cockeyed plan in order to try and control the Reapers in order to ensure human supremacy rather than, survival." And Anderson just lays into him, and the Elusive Man just kind of brushes him off and says, all right. I never expected I'd convince you, but you, Shepard, you've done some interesting things in your time. You've had to make hard choices. You know what it's like in the field. You may be an idealist, but at the end of the day, you realize we need to be preparing for the future, not just the now, and that is exactly what I am trying to do. And Shepard blows him off and just says, "No, you don't understand." And the key part is you never really did get it, Elusive Man. You never really understood the fact that at the end of the day, the bonds we have built will last us for generations. You talk about human supremacy, I talk about human... what's the word I want here? Thriving. I talk about humanity thriving. I talk about humanity becoming an important and valuable part of the galactic community. I'm talking about all of us working together for a common end, not a repeat of the Roman Empire with humanity standing on the feet, on the backs of the slaves of the other races. And the Elusive Man, and Anderson, says, "Well done, son," and just literally Anderson, if you could picture here, here's the Elusive Man's hologram, and I'm Anderson here, and the viewpoint that you're at here is actually where Shepard's at. And so Anderson just completely turns his back to him and says, this is getting old, and we don't have time for this. We need to get to the front lines." And that's when the real Elusive Man appears behind his hologram and shoots Anderson in the back of the head. Pong, dong, down. And as Shepard goes to move forward, he suddenly finds he can't move because the Elusive Man is exhibiting his indoctrinate control over him. And the Elusive Man says, "Listen, Anderson's right about one thing. We don't have time for this anymore. This is endgame right here, and we need... I can't let your catalyst destroy the Reapers. Not while we are so close. Look at what I can do." And he forces, Shepard to move his gun up to Shepard's own head and just hold it right here. I'll go and have it prop here. And the Elusive Man, basically gives this speech. I can almost picture it. It's going to be hard to do in a narrative format, but Elusive Man basically says, humanity has been all of human history has been nothing but a struggle for dominance, not cooperation, not unification, taking control and standing atop the corpses of whatever happened to be in our way, whether it was animals or nature or each other or alien races or physics themselves. We have crawled our way to the top, and with the Reapers at our backs, we could stand astride the entire galaxy and use this as a stepping stone for when we really start to go to town on the universe. You know, I'm paraphrasing a bit here. You know, really passionate, though. The Elusive Man is really just getting into this. We could use this as the beginning of a new epoch, a new era of humanity, dominating not just the galaxy, but life. We will become the ultimate, the perfect, and you are in my way. Why aren't you with me? Why haven't you joined me, Shepard? And, you know, Shepard just looks at him with contempt and says, the sad reality of it, Elusive Man, you know, the sad reality of it, Jake, I believe, is actually his original name, is that you never really did understand that all those times when we fought amongst each other and animals and nature and alien races and everything, when we finally started to get ahead was when we finally put that aside, put it beside our base nature and started working together. Sorry, I need to have this here. When we started working together. And the Elusive Man says, fine. I'm going to give you one last choice, Shepard. You know, still got the gun here. I'm going to give you one last choice, Shepard. You join me now. I need you on my side. You embody so much of what is incredible about humanity. If you would just join me. You know, the Elusive Man is actually irritated, actually upset. If you would just join me, we could do so much together. But if you refuse, then pull that trigger. And did it all. And Shepard's here. You know, he's got the gun, and there's just going to be this pause as Shepard considers it. But in the truth of the moment is, even now, Shepard just, with only these two choices left to him, he's going to pull the trigger. And just before he does, 3 shots ring out, or I think it's 3. I'll have to go double check the picture you wrote, but you know, 3 shots ring out, and suddenly, you know, oh god, the Shepard is released, and you see the Elusive Man, and this is where we put the shot in. Elusive Man getting shot from behind from Anderson, who's back here. I guess I'll have the prop again here. Who's back here, barely standing up, or I'm sorry, barely sprawled here, Call of Duty style, and you know, clearly on the verge of death, literally within seconds of death, actually. And this is something he'd been trying to do this whole time in the background. Obviously, we can't show that in a still medium, but you get the idea. And he spits his last words, which are no. Actually, you know what? I take that back. He just kind of collapses. Oh, he's expent. He shoots him, and then he maybe shoots him one final time. I'm not decided on that. But either way, one way or another, Anderson just collapses. Oh, he's spent. He has spent his last energy. And Elusive Man still has a degree of hold on Shepard, so Shepard's still immobilized, and the Elusive Man just kind of falls back. Because, you know, in the thing, you had him recoiling back like this in the picture. So he falls back, and so he's looking up at the stars, which are clouded with soot and debris and all that. And the first time I envisioned this scene, I had the perfect dialogue for him. I've been trying to remember what it is ever since, but essentially it was, you know, even when I was young, when I looked up at the stars, all I saw was a horizon with no end. A sea that never stopped. A true definition of the infinite, and it laid right in front of us. And I thought it was beautiful. And what I wanted more than anything else was to show that to every man, woman, and child of the human race. My people. And then the Elusive Man dies. And Shepard finally is completely released. Charges forward to Anderson, who is lying there. Literal again, if there is any life left in Anderson, we're talking seconds here. And Anderson just kind of smiles bloodily. And I could picture a shot, if you could go with this, me there. This is if the camera here is Shepard's viewpoint. Let me see if I can get the angle right here. It'd be kind of, I need to be more this way, kind of like this. This is a rough approximation, and Shepard is just looking down at Anderson, and Anderson grabs his hand. You know, here's Shepard's hand. Grabs his hand and smiles with the blood coming out of his mouth. He says, "You did good, son. You showed him that our way." No, hang on, I want to take that back, because I wanted to have a bit of a speech, which I admit I borrow from Batman, one of the old comics, but I'm not sure if I want to have it. The speech is, you do it the right way. You do it our way. You show him that he is wrong, that we have not dropped to his level, that we have not sunk ourselves to that just to make victory a little bit easier. We did it, and we did it the right way. And so something along those lines, you know, and he's saying, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for doing it the right way. I'm proud of you for pulling this off and proving that we are better than people like him. And then Anderson dies. And in this moment, there's got to be another moment here, as Shepard just kneels there, allowing himself a moment of tears over Anderson's corpse. And I'd love a shot, which is just a distance shot, like if you could see that chair back there. This is to give you an idea of the distance. You know, that's where Shepard is kneeling over Anderson. I know this is hard to see. Over Anderson's corpse down here, and away up here in the foreground, you can see just the edges of the elusive man's corpse. And so there's the two bodies, and then there's Shepard kneeling and weeping. And that is when the call comes out. That is when the catalyst is finally activated, and they realize the truth, that it was a trap, that it was always a lie. And then we show Hackett's, the wonderful drawing you did of Hackett's face. You know, just... it was a lie. It was always a lie. It was always a trap. And just the sheer defeatism of the moment. I'm going to have to try and get this into my... I'm not going to have to try, actually. I'm going to put that into my emotions as I'm trying to talk about this scene. I'm almost doing it right now, but just the sheer heart-crushing, soul-crushing level of despair of this moment really just... you know. And that's when Shepard looks up and says... and just very quietly whispers, "No. No." And then he stands, grabs Anderson's pistol. This is important, I think. Grabs Anderson's pistol and his own pistol. I'm still debating this, to be completely honest with you. I just really love the symbolism of him picking up Anderson's gun. And so either he just picks up Anderson's gun or he's got both. But either way, he definitely picks up Anderson's gun. And he just charges, screaming. He charges, screaming, and he starts he pulls up his comlink as he's running, and he just starts shouting, "No! No! We are not going down like this! We are not going down without a fight! We are not going to die because of some asinine predestination of would-be gods that declare that we don't have the right to exist! We are going to fight them until our very last breath, until there is nothing left!" And then you know, it's charge! And it galvanizes everyone, all the fleets, that massive, gargantuan fleet of doom, the shield, the shield fleet, the sword fleet, all of the battle forces across the whole planet just start roaring forward. And the tone, and this is important, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this out in the video, but I want you to understand. The tone is such that there's a difference between defeatist charge into a suicide mission and defiant charge into a suicide mission. The defeatist goes forward knowing they're going to die and saying, well, let's just, you know, I'll do my best until the end. My God! And once again, I forgot where the hell I was. Okay, the defiant charge. I wanted to get across the point. I don't know if I finished saying the sentence or not. I wanted to get across the point that there's a difference between defiantly charging, you know, because even if I may die, my death will mean something, versus defeatism charging. This is now defiant charging. This is now everyone saying, nope, we're not going down quietly. So they charge and, excuse me, and they rush up there. And most of the rest of the ending, I haven't actually, the rest of the finale, I should say, I haven't really changed from what I showed you on written paper. I'm going to be doing it from a slightly different tone because there's no actual dialogue. But the Harbinger will come down, having heard the cry across all the messages that Shepard shouts out. We're not going down, and the Harbinger comes down, and the tone is going to be very much, Harbinger is trying to explain to this bug, you don't understand. We are right. We are correct. You are the ones who are in the wrong. We are the ones trying to assist in the organic equation. We are the ones trying to fix the problem. You are the ones who are contributing to it. You're the ones who are the cause of it. You should be thankful we spend so much of our time on you. That kind of a thing. And when Harbinger finally starts being beaten and the Reapers start finally, taking the blows because they were so arrogant they weren't prepared for the possibility of actually being defeated here. and they weren't actually trying to wipe out the enemy forces, they were trying to harvest them. These two facts combined mean the Reapers were fighting at a disadvantage, which means the massive forces managed to actually start overwhelming and destroying them. And it gets to the point where you start to see, I added one little tidbit, you start to see shots, for orbital shots, shooting down in the distance, and you start to see some of the Reapers in the distance start to get hit from the ships, which means, for anyone who's paying attention, that the ships have actually sufficiently broken through the line of Reapers in orbit that they actually have enough ships free now to start orbital bombardment on the Reapers down on Earth, to make sure no one escapes, to make sure they are all wiped out, one to a man. And the Harbinger, in his arrogance, finally just does the thing, comes down. I really love the idea of him just slamming these two feet down and forcing up this chunk of earth and asphalt and rock and debris, and just really lowering itself down so its eyes are right here. So it is a few feet from Shepard. And it explains how wrong Shepard is, and how no matter what Shepard does, the organic life is incorrect. Somewhere, sometime in the future, someone else, something else will come along and realize the truth that the Reapers long ago came to, and they will start the cycle all over again, like it should be. And then we have the scene where Shepard looks at it, I should say, and remembers all the lives it's lost. And the only ones I'm going to mention specifically, at least right now, I think I might actually look up a few other names in the future, but, Presley, and Kaiden, and Thane, and excuse me, and Legion, and Morden, and Anderson. All these lives, all these people who have been obliterated, who have been wiped out by the Thing, because of the Thing that stands before us. And and I love that line. He summons up the rage of 1,000,000 dead, and spits in the face of the Lord of the Harbingers, go to hell, or whatever. I may not actually say that, and I really like the idea of him raising Anderson's gun, because this is purely symbolic, but he raises Anderson's gun and shoots straight into Harbinger's face, and it doesn't do anything, but by theatrical, there's a term for that, actually, theatrical law, there's a term for it, that is the moment in which a large portion of the fleet decides to target Harbinger directly. And so, as Shepard shoots his dinky little shot, that's when the fleet just starts bombarding the hell out of the Harbinger. And Shepard turns to run, and his squad turns to run, and they get the heck out of there. And Harbinger is just consumed and utterly being broken with fire. Its armor slipped off. Oh, I missed a scene. Because of that damn call. I'll get back to that. And it's hard, it's just, and I really love the idea of the Harbinger, righting itself on its few remaining functional legs for one last thing, and it just starts to glow with so much energy, and it just starts to make this almost aura outline of the energy that's about to be unleashed, and then it just completely detonates in all directions, just like Sovereign did, that we never actually saw on screen, but they describe it in rather detail. The end. Now the scene I skipped, was earlier. Oh god, where was that supposed to take place? Let me think about this for a moment. Right. As Shepard charged, as Shepard says, "No, we are not going down. No, fuck you, fuck you." That's the first time I've let myself cuss on these stupid things. As Shepard charges and screams in defiance, a plate of the Harbingers actually just gets broken off, and it just kind of clatters to the ground. I love the idea of the scene, and everything just kind of goes quiet. And for that one moment, I really did completely miss over this, because this is important, because before it was just this defeatism. Before, the entire battle was defeatism. And god, I completely screwed up. I'm sorry. I really need to redo this scene. Okay, Shepard picks up Anderson's gun, charges forward, says, "No," roars, cries, doesn't say anything on the comlink. Just defiantly roars forward, and the fire and the Harbinger comes down and does its speech, and the enemy is shooting at the Harbinger as he's doing it, and Shepard is coordinating with the squad mates, shooting him with the whatever TH-78 whatever cannon, shooting at its weak points, and finally it reaches a point where the Harbinger, a giant chunk of its armor literally just comes off. If you can picture this, just one of those giant plates on its side literally just comes off and cracks off, and now we have exposed Reaper. I don't know what the heck is in there, but the Reaper is now exposed. And then everything just goes silent for one long moment. And then, as everyone in visual range, would be quite a few, if you remember how big Harbinger is, every force inside, everything just goes quiet for a single instant, and then Shepard says, just cries out defiantly and calls to all of them, "We've hurt them, we've beaten them, take them down," and then Shepard gives his speech. And at that moment, his speech of, "We will not go quietly, we will not die quietly," and that's the moment when the tone changes. This is why I went so much into that. The tone changes from defeatism to defiance. That's the moment when that happens, and then that's the moment when they really start to concentrate fire, really start to bring them down, and then, the Harbinger gets pissed off and does its little scene. So, I'm sorry, I completely missed a rather crucial scene to the event. But anyways, that's it. I really don't think we should do multiple choice things because, A, honestly, I can't do that as well as I'd like to admit, at least not well enough. B, it would mean a lot more work. C, as weird as this is going to sound, I think that would take a little bit away from it. When this is introduced, I'm going to be like, this is this particular interpretation of the ending based on the way I played my Shepard, And a nice boilerplate, this is not the only ending idea, this is just a concept of the ending I would have loved to see. And a third reason, of course, is the obvious one, that would involve a lot more work. so eject. I'm going to go ahead and stop talking now, and go do the paperwork for the 2 calls I just got, and I'll talk to you later.